Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Collections. Coin enthusiasts. Today we're going to talk about one of the most fascinating and valuable dimes in US history, the 1894 one dime. This little coin packs quite a punch when it comes to rarity and collector demand, and today, we'll uncover everything you need to know about it. From its key features to the errors that make it even more sought after, plus tips on how to spot one in your collection, this video has got you covered. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive right in. The 1894 one dime is a coin with a lot of history behind it. First off, it features the beautiful design by Charles Barber, who was the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. On the obverse, you'll find the profile of Lady Liberty, facing left, wearing a winged cap. She's surrounded by the words Liberty and E pluribus unum. It's a design that reflects the elegance and symbolism of the late 19th century. Beneath Liberty's profile, you'll find the date 1894. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the familiar wreath design, with the words "one dime" in the center. The wreath, which is made of olive branches, surrounds the words and provides a simple but classy backdrop for the coin's text. Above the wreath is United States of America, completing the classic elements of this dime's design. This coin represents a beautiful snapshot of American history, and while its design is elegant, its value is what really sets it apart. Now, when it comes to rarity and value, the 1894 one dime stands out for one major reason: there's an extremely low mintage. In fact, only 24,000 of these coins were ever minted in 1894, making it one of the lowest mintage coins in US history. The reason behind this low production is a bit of a mystery, but it is believed that these dimes were struck only as part of an experiment by the US Mint, and not intended for general circulation. This limited production is what makes the 1894 dime so incredibly rare and valuable to collectors, but there's even more to this coin story. Let's talk about the errors that make it even more valuable. If you've been collecting coins for a while, you know that errors can turn an ordinary coin into a rare and highly sought-after piece. The 1894 one dime has a famous error that collectors go wild over: the micro-O mintmark error. This error occurs when the mintmark, which indicates where the coin was struck, is too small. Instead of the usual O mintmark for coins minted in New Orleans, the O on the 1894 dimes is barely legible, almost like a dot. This error is incredibly rare, and finding one of these coins with the micro-O mintmark can significantly increase its value. If you come across an 1894 dime with a normal O mintmark or no mintmark at all, it's still a great find, but the micro-O version is the real gem. So why is the 1894 one dime so valuable in the first place? First and foremost, it's all about scarcity. With only 24,000 coins minted, there just aren't many of these dimes left in circulation. Combine that with the fact that the 1894 one dime is a well-regarded part of US history, and you've got a coin that is highly prized by collectors. To top it off, the micro-O error makes this coin even more of a rarity and adds to its desirability. The rarity of the 1894 dime, along with its historic value, means that it can fetch a hefty price tag, especially in top condition. A well-preserved 1894 dime in fine or extremely fine condition can be worth thousands of dollars, and a coin in mint state could easily reach even higher amounts. But how can you spot a valuable 1894 one dime if you happen to come across one in your collection or while coin hunting? First, check the mint mark. If the mint mark is small and almost hard to read, you may have found the famous micro-O error. Use a magnifying glass to closely inspect the mint mark. If it's tiny and seems more like a dot than a full O, you've got an error coin that could be worth a fortune. Next, look at the overall condition of the coin. Coins in better condition will always be worth more than those that have been heavily worn. The 1894 one dime is a smaller coin, so it's particularly susceptible to wear and tear. Look for signs of excessive scratching or fading on the surface. The more detail that's preserved, the more valuable the coin will be. Coins with high levels of preservation, such as those graded in mint or uncirculated condition, can be especially valuable. Another important thing to keep in mind is that there are two types of 1894 dimes, the ones with the mint mark, for coins struck in New Orleans, and the ones without a mint mark, which were struck in Philadelphia. While both are rare, those with the micro O mint mark are the real treasures that collectors are after. So, how much is the 1894 one dime worth? This is where things get exciting. A typical 1894 dime in decent condition can fetch between $2,700 and $38,000, depending on the condition and whether it has the micro O mint mark error. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition have been known to sell for even more, with some extreme examples going for far higher amounts at auction. When you think about it, that's a huge return on a coin that, at first glance, might look like just another dime. Imagine finding an 1894 one dime hidden away in your collection or in your coin jar. With the potential to be worth tens of thousands of dollars, this is a coin you definitely want to keep your eyes peeled for. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin in your collection that turned out to be worth more than you expected? Or maybe you've encountered an 1894 dime or another historical coin in your search for treasures. Share your stories and thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your coin collecting experiences. To summarize, the 1894 one dime is a rare and valuable piece of American history. With only 24,000 minted, and the possibility of discovering the micro O mint mark error, it's a coin that every collector dreams of finding. With values ranging from $2,700 to $38,000, this dime is definitely worth keeping an eye out for. Today, we're diving into a more recent yet highly collectible dime, the 1977 United States one dime. You might be surprised that a coin from the 1970s can be worth so much, but trust me, this one is special. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about rare coins, you won't want to miss what we have to say about this particular dime. From key features to rare errors and the reason why this seemingly modern coin can be worth a pretty penny, we'll explore it all in this video. Let's get started. First, let's talk about the key features of the 1977 one dime. Like all U.S. dimes from 1946 onward, this coin features Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. On the obverse, Roosevelt is facing left, and you'll see the word Liberty in bold letters across the top, along with the mint year, 1977, right beneath his profile. Below that, you'll see the inscription, "In God We Trust," and the mint mark to the right of Roosevelt's neck, which tells us where the coin was struck. The mint mark can either be D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Both versions of the 1977 dime are sought after, though there are some key differences between the two. On the reverse side, you'll find a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which symbolize freedom, peace, and strength. The words, United States of America, are displayed above the design, and below it, you'll see the denomination, one dime. These are the familiar and timeless symbols that have been used on the dime since 1946 when Roosevelt's image replaced the Mercury dime. So, why is the 1977 dime so valuable? You might think that coins from the 1970s wouldn't be particularly rare, but here's where things get interesting. While most 1977 dimes are still fairly common, there are certain errors and rarities that can make this coin worth much more than its face value. In fact, with the right error or in pristine condition, a 1977 dime can fetch a significant sum. One of the most valuable aspects of the 1977 dime has to do with the potential for die errors. Die errors happen when a coin is struck with a die that has some sort of issue, like a crack or an imprint that causes part of the design to appear incorrectly. On the 1977 dime, one of the most well-known errors to look out for is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to mint the coin is misaligned or damaged, causing parts of the design to appear duplicated or blurry. For the 1977 dime, you should focus your attention on the inscriptions, especially the word Liberty and In God We Trust. If these words appear to be doubled or blurry, it's a strong indicator that the coin has a double die error. This error is highly sought after by collectors because it makes the coin unique, and as you may know, unique coins are often worth a lot more than those without errors. Another key error to watch out for on the 1977 dime is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned when it's being struck by the minting die, causing the design to be shifted or partially missing from one side of the coin. An off-center strike on a dime, especially one that is clearly noticeable, can greatly increase its value. If you spot a 1977 dime where part of the design is cut off, or if the design is noticeably shifted toward one edge, you may have an off-center error that could be worth a small fortune. But why are these errors so valuable? The rarity and the fact that they make the coin unique are key factors. Coins with noticeable errors, especially those that are popular like the double die or off-center strike, are always in high demand. Collectors love to have something that stands out from the rest, and because these errors don't happen often, coins with them are extremely desirable. As a result, they can fetch a much higher price than a standard 1977 dime. So, how do you spot a valuable 1977 dime? The first thing you should do is closely examine the mint mark. If your coin has a D mint mark, it means it was struck in Denver, while an S mint mark means it was made in San Francisco. Both versions of the 1977 dime are collectible, but the errors you'll typically find are present in both mint mark variations. Next, check for doubling or blurriness in the inscriptions on the obverse side, particularly Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see a noticeable doubling, it's time to get excited because you might have a doubled die error on your hands. Don't forget to inspect the reverse side of the coin as well. Look for any signs of off-center strikes, where part of the design is cut off or misaligned. These errors are more pronounced and easy to spot, and coins with a heavy off-center strike are often worth more than those with minor shifts. Of course, the overall condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. A well-preserved 1977 dime, especially one with errors, will be worth much more than a heavily worn or damaged one. If you find a 1977 dime in mint or near mint condition, with no major scratches or wear, it's definitely worth hanging on to. Keep in mind that coins that are in uncirculated or nearly uncirculated condition can sell for a premium, even without any errors. So, how much can a 1977 dime be worth? A standard 1977 dime in good condition will likely only be worth its face value, 10 cents. But when you're talking about a 1977 dime with a double die error or an off-center strike, the value skyrockets. A coin with noticeable doubling could be worth anywhere from $2,700 to $37,000, depending on the severity of the error and the overall condition of the coin. Coins with extreme errors, particularly in pristine condition, can fetch even higher prices at auctions or from serious collectors. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a 1977 dime with an error or a rare find? Or maybe you've discovered another valuable coin in your collection? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to share your coin hunting experiences with us. To wrap things up, the 1977 one dime is more than just a modern coin, it's a potential treasure waiting to be found. Whether it's the double die error or an off-center strike, there are plenty of reasons to keep an eye out for this particular dime. With values ranging from $2,700 to $37,000, a simple dime could turn out to be a very valuable piece of your collection. Today, we're talking about a seemingly modern coin, but one with a huge potential to be worth a lot more than just 10 cents, the 1980 United States one dime. If you're thinking that coins from the 1980s can't possibly be valuable, think again. In this video, we'll break down why the 1980 dime is so significant, and what errors and unique features make it worth serious money to collectors. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner looking to learn more, you won't want to miss this one. The 1981 dime is a part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been in circulation since 1946. Designed by John R. Sinek, the obverse side of this coin features the familiar bust of Franklin D. Roosevelt, facing left. Around the portrait, you'll find the words, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year of mintage, which in this case, is 1980. The reverse side of the dime showcases a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing freedom, peace, and strength, respectively. The words United States of America and one dime also appear on this side of the coin. As far as design goes, the 1980 dime is typical of Roosevelt dimes, but there's one major thing that sets this coin apart from others: it's the errors that can occur on this coin that make it valuable. That's right. While most of the 1980 dimes you'll find are fairly common and worth only their face value of 10 cents, there are a few key errors that can turn this coin into a rare and valuable collectible. The most common error that collectors look for on the 1980 dime is the double die error. If you've been following the world of coin collecting, you may already know that a double die occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by a die, with misalignment between strikes. This causes the design on the coin to appear as if it's been doubled or blurred. On a 1980 dime, you'll want to focus your attention on the inscriptions, such as Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice that these words appear to be slightly doubled or blurry, that's a sign of a double die error. This error can make a huge difference in the coin's value, and if you manage to find one with a clear and noticeable double die, you may have found yourself a rare treasure. However, not all double die errors are created equal. The more pronounced the doubling is, the more valuable the coin will be. The best examples of a double die error will have significant doubling on the text, making it obvious to the naked eye. If the doubling is very faint, the coin will still be worth more than a regular 1980 dime, but not as much as one with dramatic error markings. Another key error to look out for is a clash die error. This happens when the coin is struck by a die that has a piece of debris or a design feature from a previous coin still on it. The result is that part of a previous design may show up faintly on the coin, or you may see part of the die itself imprinted onto the coin. These errors are less common but can be highly valuable, especially if the clash is noticeable and easily identifiable. Now, you might be wondering, why is the 1980 dime valuable in the first place? After all, it's not a particularly rare coin in general circulation. The value of the 1980 dime primarily comes from the errors we just discussed. A standard 1980 dime is worth just 10 cents, but a 1980 dime with a noticeable double die or clash die error can increase dramatically in value. Collectors value these errors because they're unique. After all, no two coins will have the exact same error. This makes the error coins highly desirable in the coin collecting community, especially among those looking for rare and unusual pieces. The 1980 dime's value also depends on its condition. As with any coin, the better the condition, the higher the price it will fetch. Coins in mint condition, with sharp details and no visible signs of wear, are always worth more. So if you happen to find a 1980 dime in pristine condition, even without any errors, it will be more valuable than one that's heavily worn down from years of circulation. When you're hunting for valuable 1980 dimes, here's what you should look for. First, check the mint mark located near Roosevelt's neck. The mint mark tells you where the coin was struck. The D mint mark means it was minted in Denver, while the S mint mark indicates it came from San Francisco. Both versions are collectible, but again, it's the errors that will really make the difference in the coin's value. Next, use a magnifying glass or loupe to closely examine the text on the coin. The most common errors you'll be looking for are the double die and clash die errors. These are easiest to spot on the word Liberty or In God We Trust. If you notice any blurriness or doubling, it could be a sign of a valuable error. Look carefully, as the doubling can sometimes be subtle, so take your time and inspect every detail. Lastly, check the overall condition of the coin. If the 1980 dime is in excellent shape, with minimal wear and clear details, you might have a coin that's worth more than you think, especially if it has one of these errors. So, how much is a 1980 dime worth? Well, if you find a regular 1980 dime in average condition, you're probably looking at a coin worth just 10 cents. But if your coin has one of those rare errors, like a noticeable double die or clash die error, it can be worth anywhere from $2,700 to $35,000, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. In some rare cases, especially if the error is large and the coin is in near mint condition, it could even fetch more. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin, like the 1980 dime, with an error or something unexpected? Maybe you found another coin that you thought was ordinary, only to have it turn out to be much more valuable than you realized. Share your stories with me in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your coin hunting experiences. To wrap things up, the 1981 dime may seem like a modern coin at first glance, but with the right error, it could be a hidden treasure. Whether you find a doubled die, a clashed die, or simply a coin in perfect condition, there's a lot of potential value in this dime. With values ranging from $2,700 to $35,000, it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for this one. Today, we're diving into a seemingly modern coin that holds some serious value. Yes, we're talking about the 2007 United States 1 dime. At first glance, you might think a 2007 dime is just another standard coin in circulation, but let me tell you, there are some rare and valuable finds out there that could have you sitting on a goldmine. Now, let's take a closer look at this dime, what makes it stand out from other years, and why certain 2007 dimes are worth far more than their face value. If you're a coin collector or even someone just casually interested in coins, this video will give you everything you need to know about spotting valuable 2007 dimes. So let's jump right in. The 2007 United States 1 dime is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been in circulation since 1946. Like all Roosevelt dimes, the design features the left-facing profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and beneath his portrait, you'll find the year, 2007, and the words, "In God We Trust," on the obverse side. The reverse side shows a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength, along with the inscription, 1 dime. While the design of the 2007 dime is nothing out of the ordinary compared to other years, the key to its value lies in its errors and rare characteristics. Now, we all know that most coins we encounter in circulation are pretty standard, but this year had a few hiccups in the minting process that resulted in valuable error coins. Let's talk about the most prominent of these errors and how you can spot them. Point 1 of the most common, and most sought after, errors found in the 2007 dime is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck multiple times with misalignment, causing certain features of the coin, like the lettering, to appear doubled or blurred. When this happens on a 2007 dime, the most noticeable features are the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If you find a 2007 dime where these words look doubled, congratulations, you might have found yourself a valuable piece. Double die errors can vary in severity, with some examples showing only faint doubling, while others are dramatically obvious. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. Coins with extreme doubling, especially on high-profile areas like Roosevelt's portrait or the words, "Liberty," can fetch higher prices at auctions or in private sales. So, if you're searching for that hidden treasure in your pocket change, a clear double die could be worth thousands. Another error to be aware of on the 2007 dime is the off-center strike error. This happens when a coin is not properly aligned when it's being struck, which results in the design being shifted to one side. In extreme cases, part of the coin's design might be missing altogether. The off-center strike error is often easy to spot because part of the coin's features, like the words, "United States of America" or "1 dime," may be missing or cut off. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin can be. Additionally, there is another error called the clashed die error. This occurs when a coin is struck with a die that has some leftover debris from a previous strike, such as part of the design from another coin. These errors can lead to a part of the previous design or even the die itself being imprinted onto the coin. In the case of the 2007 dime, this could mean you might see part of another coin's design faintly showing up on your dime. While not as common as double die or off-center strikes, the clashed die error can still be a big find for collectors. Now, let's talk about why the 2007 dime, specifically one with these errors, is so valuable. You might be wondering, what makes a modern dime worth more than just 10 cents? The answer is rarity. While most dimes minted in 2007 are still in circulation today, the error coins are rare and highly sought after. Collectors are always on the lookout for these unique mistakes, as they add something special to a collection that standard, error-free coins simply can't. If you're able to find one of these rare 2007 dimes with noticeable errors, you've discovered a coin that could be worth much more than its face value. In terms of the coin's value, a standard 2007 dime in average condition is worth, well, just 10 cents. However, when you're dealing with a 2007 dime that has a double die error, off-center strike, or clashed die error, the value increases dramatically. These coins can range in value from $2,900 to $33,000, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. For example, a 2007 dime with significant doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust could sell for thousands of dollars, while a dime with a more subtle error will still bring in a decent sum, but not as much. So, how do you spot a valuable 2007 dime? Start by inspecting the mint mark, which can be found near Roosevelt's neck on the obverse. If it's a D, the coin was minted in Denver, and if it's an S, it was minted in San Francisco. Next, use a magnifying glass to get a close-up look at the coin's design. Look specifically at the words Liberty and In God We Trust for any doubling. If the letters appear blurry or doubled, that's a major red flag for a double die error. You'll also want to examine the edges and look for any off-center strikes, where the design might be misaligned. Lastly, check for any faint or overlapping designs, which could indicate a clashed die error. It's also essential to pay attention to the coin's overall condition. A coin in pristine condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, will always be worth more than a worn or damaged one. The better the condition, the more desirable the coin becomes to collectors, especially if it has an error. Now that you've learned all about the 2007 dime and how to spot those valuable errors, I want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a 2007 dime with a double die, off-center strike, or clashed die error? Or maybe you found a different rare coin that surprised you in terms of value? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing about your coin discoveries. To wrap things up, the 2007 one dime may seem like a modern coin, but if you know what to look for, it can be worth a lot more than just 10 cents. With potential errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and clashed dies, this coin holds serious value, and some can be worth anywhere from $2,900 to $33,000, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. Today we're talking about a coin that might just surprise you, the 1987 United States one dime. At first glance, it might seem like just another modern dime, but there are some important details that could make it a valuable collectible. So, stick with us, because in this video, we're going to uncover everything you need to know about the 1987 dime, how to spot valuable errors, and why it might be worth much more than you think. Let's dive in. First, let's start by taking a look at the key features of the 1987 one dime. This coin is part of the famous Roosevelt dime series, which has been in circulation since 1946. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Above his profile, you'll see the word Liberty, and below it, the phrase, In God We Trust. And of course, at the bottom, you'll find the year 1987. On the reverse side of the 1987 dime, we have the classic design of a torch, olive branch, and oak branch. The torch symbolizes freedom, the olive branch stands for peace, and the oak branch represents strength. The words United States of America and one dime also appear on the reverse side, clearly identifying the coin. The 1987 dime has the same design as all Roosevelt dimes, but the true value lies not in the coin's basic features, but in its potential errors and variations. You see, while most dimes from 1987 are still in circulation today and worth only their face value, there are certain rare mistakes that can turn a typical dime into a sought-after collector's item. And these errors can significantly increase the value of the coin. Let's talk about the most common error you might find on a 1987 dime, the double die error. For those of you who are familiar with coin collecting, you'll know that a double die error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by a die, with the second strike slightly misaligned with the first. This results in the design appearing doubled, particularly the letters and numbers on the coin. On the 1987 dime, the double die error is most often noticeable on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" on the obverse side. If you closely examine the text on the coin and notice that the letters are slightly doubled, blurry, or have a shadowy appearance, this is a telltale sign that you found a double die error. The more pronounced the doubling is, the more valuable the coin becomes. In some extreme cases, the doubling can be quite dramatic, making the error easily visible to the naked eye. But even if the doubling is subtle, it still makes the coin more valuable than a regular 1987 dime. Another error that collectors look for on the 1987 dime is the off-center strike error. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be shifted to one side of the coin. The result? Part of the coin's design might be missing, or you may see the design pushed to the edge of the coin. The more off-center the strike is, the more valuable the coin becomes. In some cases, the off-center strike can cause significant parts of the design to be cut off, which only adds to the coin's rarity and value. There's also the possibility of a clashed die error on the 1987 dime. This occurs when a coin is struck by a die that still has leftover features from a previous coin strike. If there's leftover debris or part of a previous design on the die, it can leave an imprint on your dime. For example, you might find that part of another coin's design, such as a word or part of a symbol, appears faintly on the surface of your dime. This type of error is less common, but when it does occur, it can make your coin a highly sought-after collectible. Now, you might be asking, why is the 1987 dime valuable in the first place? It's all about rarity. While the vast majority of dimes from 1987 are still in circulation today and worth only 10 cents, coins with these rare minting errors are far less common and highly coveted by collectors. And as we all know, when something is rare and hard to find, it's worth more. The 1987 dime, especially one with a noticeable error, can be worth thousands of dollars. That's right, if you're lucky enough to find a 1987 dime with one of these errors, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Now, let's talk about how you can spot a valuable 1987 dime. First, make sure to look for the mint mark, which is located near Roosevelt's neck on the obverse side of the coin. The mint mark will either be a D for the Denver Mint or an S for the San Francisco Mint. Both are valuable to collectors, but the real focus here is on the errors, so we'll be paying close attention to the design itself. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect the coin closely, particularly the lettering on the obverse. Look for any signs of doubling on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If the letters appear blurry, double, or shadowed, that's your indication that you may have found a double die error. Next, check the alignment of the design. If it's off-center, you may notice that parts of the coin's design are cut off or shifted to one side. This is the telltale sign of an off-center strike error. Lastly, carefully examine the coin for any unusual markings, as these could be evidence of a clashed die error, and of course, remember to check the overall condition of the coin. Coins in better condition, those with sharper details and less wear, will be worth more than those that are heavily circulated or damaged. A coin with a noticeable error in pristine condition will fetch a higher price than one with a slight error in poor condition. So, how much can you expect to get for a 1987 dime with an error? Well, it all depends on the type of error and the condition of the coin. A standard 1987 dime is worth just 10 cents, but if you find one with a double die, off-center strike, or clash die error, it could be worth anywhere from $2,900 to $38,000, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. If you're lucky enough to find a perfect specimen with a major error, you could be looking at a truly rare and valuable piece of numismatic history. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a 1987 dime with an error or any other coin that turned out to be worth way more than you expected? Or maybe you've spotted some other rare coins with unique features. Share your coin hunting stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your discoveries. That's all for today's video on the 1987 1 dime. Whether you're just starting your coin collection or you're an experienced numismatist, this coin holds the potential to be a valuable treasure if you know what to look for. With errors like double die, off-center strikes, and clash dies, you could be sitting on a coin worth anywhere from $2,900 to $38,000. Today, we're diving into the world of a seemingly ordinary coin that could be hiding some serious value, the 1980 United States 1 dime. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a dime, what makes it so special? Well, you're about to find out that the 1980 dime isn't as simple as it seems. Stick with us, because in this video, we're going to break down the key features, tell you exactly what to look for in terms of valuable errors, explain why this coin is so valuable, and show you how to spot a gem that could be worth thousands. Let's get into it. The 1981 dime is part of the iconic Roosevelt dime series, which has been circulating in the United States since 1946. The obverse of this coin features a portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and below it, you'll see the word liberty, along with the phrase, "In God We Trust." This side of the coin was designed by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and it's a design that has become synonymous with the dime. You'll also find the year 1980 on this side, marking the coin's minting year. On the reverse side, the design features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch stands for strength. The words United States of America and 1 dime are also present, clearly indicating the coin's denomination. These features have remained the same on the Roosevelt dime since its inception, and the design continues to be widely recognized today. So, why does the 1980 dime matter? What makes it valuable? The answer lies in the rarity of errors. While most dimes from 1980 are still in circulation today, there are some rare, minting errors that can turn this common coin into a major collector's item. These error coins are highly sought after because they are unique, making them valuable to collectors. The most common error on the 1980 dime is the double die error. You might be familiar with this term if you've watched other coin collecting videos. A double die error happens when the coin is struck multiple times by the same die, but the second strike is slightly misaligned with the first. This causes parts of the design to appear doubled, creating a blurry or shadowed look. On the 1980 dime, the most noticeable places for the doubling to occur are the words liberty and "In God We Trust" on the obverse. If you closely inspect these areas and see any signs of doubling, whether it's faint or more pronounced, then you might have a valuable error coin on your hands, but that's not all. There are other errors you might find on the 1980 dime that could make it more valuable. One of those errors is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned when it's struck, causing the design to be shifted to one side. If you have an off-center 1980 dime, you might notice that part of the design is missing or pushed to the edge of the coin. The more pronounced the off-center strike, the higher the coin's value, as it's a rare and highly collectible error. Another potential error to look out for is the clash die error. This occurs when a coin is struck by a die that still has leftover features from a previous strike, which can leave faint marks or imprints on the coin. On the 1980 dime, you might find part of another coin's design, such as a word or symbol, stamped on the surface of your dime. This type of error is rare, but it's also something that coin collectors love to seek out. A 1980 dime with a clashed die error can fetch a pretty penny, especially if the design is clearly visible. Now, you may be asking, why does a 1980 dime with errors carry so much value? The answer is simple: rarity and demand. While the standard 1980 dime is worth just 10 cents, coins with rare errors are far less common and highly sought after by collectors. These errors create a one-of-a-kind coin, making it a much more valuable collectible. As collectors and numismatists continue to search for these rare and unique coins, the value of error coins continues to rise. So, how can you spot a valuable 1980 dime? The first thing to do is examine the coin closely. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect the fine details. Check the word "Liberty" and the phrase "In God We Trust" for any signs of doubling. If the letters appear blurry, faint, or duplicated, that's a sign you found a double die error. Then, flip the coin over and check for any signs of misalignment or parts of the design being cut off. This is a clue that the coin might have an off-center strike. Finally, look for any unusual markings or impressions from other coins. This could indicate a clashed die error. Pay close attention to the overall condition of the coin as well. A coin that's in better condition, sharp details, minimal wear, will naturally be more valuable than one that's heavily circulated. If you're lucky enough to find a 1980 dime in near-mint condition with a noticeable error, you could be holding on to something worth thousands. Now, let's talk about just how valuable a 1980 dime can be. A standard 1980 dime, in circulated condition, is worth just 10 cents. However, a 1980 dime with a notable error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or clashed die, could be worth anywhere from $2,800 to $37,000. That's right, depending on the type of error and the coin's condition, you could be looking at a windfall of money. The more dramatic and visible the error, the higher the coin's value will climb. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever found a coin with a unique error, like a double die or an off-center strike? Or maybe you've got a rare dime sitting in your collection right now. Share your stories and experiences with us in the comments below. I love hearing about your coin hunting adventures. That's all for today's video on the 1981 dime. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin holds the potential to be a valuable addition to your collection. With the possibility of minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and clash dies, a 1980 dime could be worth anywhere from $2,800 to $37,000 if you know what to look for. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe for more exciting coin content. Happy coin hunting, and I'll see you in the next video.